Hi and welcome. This is the BUS441 Strategic Management Course Overview for Winter 2016. Hi, I'm Professor Nugent, and I'm going to go over how to complete this course and how the course is organized. So the first thing you want to do is always come into the announcements area. And I will be posting announcements on a weekly basis about this course that you will need to know. The first announcement is about getting started. And this video is posted right here, and I talk about how to get started with this course and what you're going to be doing. So it's a good thing that you're watching this. This should be the first thing that you should do is watch this video. Now each week under announcements I will break down the week, what you need to do, what's expected, what you should be watching. So for week 1, first thing I'll say is please read all announcements on Blackboard. That's something you should do every time you come to Blackboard, see if there's a new announcement. For the first week, we'll be covering chapters 1, 2, and 3, and then I have video lectures for these chapters listed below, as well as the case studies. In the first week, you'll be doing case study on LinkedIn and a case study on Uber, and complete the homework and tests in My Pearson lab and mastering.com. So we'll get to that in a minute. This is just a weekly, I like to send you a weekly overview schedule each week so you have an idea of what you should be reading, what homework you should be working on, and what cases you should be completing. All right. Now the actual schedule for the course is broken down into 3 weeks. So week 1 will be covering chapters 1, 2, 3. Week 2 will be covering chapters 4, 5, 6. And week 3 will be covering chapters 7, 8, and 9. So we'll be doing 9 chapters in total. And for each week I will have quizzes associated, homeworks associated with the chapters, as well as case study discussion boards, which I will get to in a minute. So let's just go to documents. So in documents I have a breakdown of 3 folders. One is the video lectures. Now the video lectures are also backed up on YouTube. So these video lectures here are the class syllabus, which you're watching right now, and then here's a link to the playlist that YouTube is hosting this class, and I have a playlist for all of the chapter lectures in chronological order. So you should subscribe to this playlist. I will also be sending you weekly links to each of the lectures as well to let you know what you should be watching. And I have the PowerPoints backed up here. These are the PowerPoints for all the chapters of the textbook that we'll be covering. And in addition, I have the course syllabus under documents. So let's just go over the syllabus quickly here. And it may be hard to read in this video, so you may want to open up a copy of the course syllabus as well to follow along. Now this is a winter course, so it's been specifically designed and tailored to be accomplished in a 3-week basis. Now the office hours will be 2 to 3 p.m. on Monday. I'm using SB Connect, which is a link right here. You click on this link, it opens up a video chat room where you can meet with me virtually if you have any issues or problems with the class you need to talk to me about. And if it's of a more private nature, you can always email me, or we can set up a private office hours at a later date. Now, this is an asynchronous class, which means that you can be anywhere in the world and work on this in your time, although there are due dates where things are specifically due that you need to complete before the due date, but you can work at any time that you want, day or night, on your schedule to complete this course. Now, the description of the course is going to be talking about strategy and how companies and managers come together to figure out what a business should be doing and what they should be doing to make the business successful, and how a successful business is measured, and identify and capitalize on key strengths of a business to maintain their competitive advantage, and analyze factors that are critical to the company's continuing success. And we're going to accomplish these goals through working through the textbook, as well as the video cases and quizzes in the course, and utilizing discussion board case studies. Okay, so class time is going to be primarily made up of 2 elements. The class lectures that I've recorded that you'll be watching is a discussion of each chapter, and the discussion boards where I post cases that you'll be answering, and we'll be, as a collective group, asking questions and probing into these cases a little bit more in depth in a simulated class discussion. Now the textbook is available at the bookstore. You can also purchase the textbook with My Management Lab. So you can get the e-textbook and the My Management Lab together for $86 by clicking this link here. So you can get to the link where you can buy both products together, which is a great deal because it will be cheaper than the textbook alone and cheaper than the textbook with the Homework Manager offered at the bookstore. So that's your most affordable option for buying the textbook and the Homework Manager. So which is great about this link is you get a discount on the textbook and get the Homework Manager for free if you want to buy them together. But you can certainly, if you want to buy the textbook a different way, you will still have to buy the Homework Manager a la carte from the website because you will need that to complete the class. Now the Homework Manager for the course, you want to register to BUS441 Winter Nugent will be the name of the course, and I have a course ID for this course that you're going to be entering in when you register for the Homework Manager. And these are the instructions on how to register and how to complete the registration process and get into the course for this class. Now the assignments I have laid out where the chapter homeworks will be 37.5% of the grade, or 150 points. The test will also be 150 points, and the class case study discussion boards will be 100 points for a total of 400 points. If you divide that, the total points you earn by 4, you can figure out what grade you'll be getting in the course. Now there will be 3 tests, 1 test each week to test the chapters of that week. They're not cumulative, they're just on the 3 chapters for each week. And I'll be using the textbook as well as the class lectures to build these tests, which will be hosted on the Homework Manager site. As far as participation, I expect you to participate in the discussion boards at least 3 of the 4 days during the week. This class is 4 days a week. If you were to take this class in person on campus in a winter course, you'll be coming for about 4 hours a day for 4 days a week, say Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I expect that to simulate the course discussions that we'd be normally having in class, you need to check the Blackboard and participate at least 3 of those 4 days a week and respond to other people's posts and your questions to your post as well. And you have a possibility of losing points if you don't participate. Okay, but more on that later. The class schedule is sort of laid out here. I have laid out each of the weeks plus what's expected for you to do. So I'll have, and this I'll mail out on a weekly basis, the chapters we're covering, what you should be reading, the cases you're working on, and the homeworks, will be listed on the due dates on the Homework Manager site for each of the weeks. Okay, so that's just the basis of the syllabus that you should read over thoroughly before the class begins. Okay, so that covers the 3 elements of documents: syllabus, PowerPoints, and video lectures. Now, as far as assignments, there are 2 groups of assignments. The first group is discussion board participation, which is up to 100 points. So I'm going to have discussion board cases that are due each week, and each discussion board question is worth anywhere from 10 to 33 points. And you want to see this discussion board tab here in the menu to complete these discussion boards. Each post, I expect 1 original post and at least 2 replies. Each post should be, especially the original post, should be 250 to 400 words. The replies can be somewhat shorter. Maybe just 100 to 200 words, and you earn points for your participation and the quality of your answers and replies. But more on that next. I just want to reiterate, there's also a Homework Manager that you must sign up for this class. All of the chapter homeworks and the exams will be on the Homework Manager, and we'll go over that. Actually, we'll go over that right now. So once you register for the Homework Manager and you put in a course ID, you're going to get to a site that looks something like this. So for each chapter, I have the due dates set up, and when the due dates are set up, I'm setting them up at the end of the week. All the assignments due on the same day at the end of the week. So you have to pace yourself and start working on these during the week. Don't wait till the last day to start them. And these are a nice mixture of some active learning, some video exercises where you just click on the homework, and they'll have questions related to the homework that you go into and you answer. Okay, so for this one they'll have a video. This is the video, the little film. You watch the video and then you just answer the questions. You can check your answer. If you get it incorrect, you get a chance to do it again, and then you can save your work as you're moving through. Okay. So very, very straightforward, very simple how to complete each homework. So each homework is a nice complement to the chapters we're working on. Many of them contain video exercises. Some of them are simulation exercises. They're a nice, unique blend to help further discuss the topics and subjects of each of the chapters. So we have 1 to 2 homeworks for each chapter. Some chapters will have 1 homework, like chapter 4. Some chapters will have 2 homeworks, and they're for each chapter will have at least 1 homework to cover. Now, when it comes to the tests and quizzes, you won't see them right away. Will display on the due dates. So I'm just going to go to my instructor's view to show you what they would look like. All right, assignment manager. Okay, so your test will appear. This one's set to appear on January 8th. So I generally set the tests up where they will come in. Let's see. Wanted to spread out the dates on them a little bit. So they'll generally come in on a Friday, and so you can start them at 8 a.m. on a Friday, and they'll be due at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. So those of you who may be working on Friday, you'll also have Saturday. So I have a 2-day or 48-hour window for you to complete the exams, and the exams will open up on the first. You won't see them until the day they open up, and then they'll close. So when you do start an exam, I'll list the chapters that each exam is for, and they work similar to the homeworks where you get true, false, multiple answer type of questions, and you progress through the test much like you would do through a homework assignment. So over here on my view, I have all the homeworks and tests laid out, but the tests you'll have to wait to the actual 48-hour period before they'll appear. You can't work on them early. So look for course announcements on the test dates. And I think I already have that set up, so you can see that on Blackboard. So the homework manager is pretty simple. All the homeworks and exams will be set up in here, and these are instructions on how to complete that. And if you go to announcements, under announcements, I will post the when I do the class schedule for the week, I'll send an email out that will detail when the tests are and when they are due. Okay. All right. So let's going back to assignments. I need to talk about the discussion boards. So this is something that you need to be actively participating in at least 3 of the 4 days per week. And this is really simulating part of our classroom experience. Now the first tab I have in the discussion board is class questions. So if you have questions about the class that you think other students can help you with or would be valuable for other students to know, you can click in here, and then you want to click on Create Thread, and you'll say, when can I start working on the classwork? So maybe that's your question. You can make that the subject. So you may want to know, when can I start working on the classwork? So you just click that, and then there's the Be Up button. Just shift this over. There's a button here, Submit. So you submit that question, and now anybody going in will see this question. I'm going to actually answer it, so I'll click on the thread. I'll read your question. I'll click Reply, and I'll just say, you can start right away. That would be my answer. You can start right away. Again, there's a submit button, so I'll submit that. So now you've asked your question and I've answered it. So the question is, when can I start working on this class? Meaning, can I start working early? And the answer is yes. You could start right away. If you want to start working in December before the class starts, you're more than welcome to start doing that. Okay. That is, I'm just going to hit OK to move backwards. Okay, so that is the class question link. Now, week 1, we have 2 case studies. So, and the due dates are down here. So you'll see that this one is January 11th, so that's week 2. So week 1, we have 2 discussion board cases that start on January 4th and end on the 8th. Now you can post your initial You can always post these discussion boards early, but you can't post after the end. Once it ends on January 8th, the discussion board will close. I will grade the discussion boards, place them in the grade book, and then, comment on how well you did or didn't do on each of the cases. So how you do the casework is you download the PDF. So you click on this link, and a PDF will appear that includes the case and the case questions. So here is the questions for the case and the actual case. So I provide you a case to read, and then the questions along with the case, as well as I back up the questions here. So you should always look at the questions on the discussion board. Sometimes they could be a little bit different than what's posted in the PDF. Usually, I think, usually they're the same, but just go with the questions in the discussion board if they aren't. Okay, so what you should do is once you read the case, you want to click on this link here, and then you want to create your thread, and generally you're going to put student name, and then say case 1 maybe. So the student name could be Jessica Jones, or anything, whatever your name is, you put there so I know whose response this is, and put in case 1. And then you would hopefully write this out in a Word document first, and then you can simply just say question 1, then post your response here. Question 2, post your response. So it's okay if you list the questions so I know what you're answering. So you can even number them if you want. And then you post your response underneath. And remember, we're looking for a significant response that answers the question completely. And some of these responses can be quite long, 200, 300 words, and so this is an involved case that does require you to make a substantial effort in answering these questions. So once you're done answering the questions, then you would click on submit. Okay. Student example. All right. So you just click on submit. And now you see that my thread has been created. So when you're creating a new thread, you click here, but if you're looking into an existing thread that someone else has created, you just click on the thread, and you could read and then reply, and you can also rate the quality of the post. Okay. So let's hit OK to go back. So that's basically the discussion board. So these case studies, and these are very interesting case studies, so I want you to read with the other students' answers to the case study, because you can learn a lot from reading the case study and proposing your answers, but then the discussion starts when you start reading other students' case studies, and they may have questions for you about where did you get this information, or maybe a counterpoint to what you're saying. So this is where, and I'll pop in, and I'll also may ask you questions or when I read over your case studies if I feel they're incomplete or there's something I'm curious about. So you're responsible for going back in, checking who posted replies to your case study and answering them, as well as reading other students' case studies and answering them as time goes on. So the first week we'll be talking about LinkedIn and Uber. So those are the first two cases that you must complete by January 8th. Now, you have to have your original post on Monday or Tuesday, and then your reply should be either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Wednesday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday, or two of those 3 days you should be checking to see, making replies to other students, helpful, constructive replies, or answering people that may have put a reply onto your original post. So each week we'll have two cases. In week 2 we'll be doing Under Armour and Dollar General, and in week 3 we'll be doing Tesla and Netflix. So these are very interesting cases that are tied into the course material and an example of how the course material plays out in the real world. So this is the real world element of the course, and a very important part of our class time. Okay, so in Tools is where you can check your grades for the course, and I have library resources here if you need to do any additional research on the case studies, and this is the SB Connect room where we'll be doing our office hours. Okay, so that's pretty much the course in a nutshell. I have how to complete the course. I will post weekly announcements of what you are expected to do each week to help organize you as efficiently as possible. You can work ahead on the homeworks, and you can work ahead on the case studies if you like on the original post, but the discussion replies must be made during the week of the case study discussion board question. Okay, so if you have any additional questions that you feel this video hasn't answered, please head on over to the discussion board and you can post your questions under class questions. I'll be checking that regularly to answer those questions you may have about the course. And I think you find that this course is laid out in a very organized and systematic way to help you to complete the class in a very efficient manner. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy this winter course, and I'll be talking to you throughout the winter, and good luck and take care.